This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on iTalk 106.7 FM and iTalk1067.com. Also brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Deemer's Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center, Horn Auto Center, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports, and Comfort Fit Dentures. And now, Sholo Ford presents high school basketball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Winslow High School as the Winslow Bulldogs set to play host to the Snowflake Lobos as we're live from the gym at Winslow High School, around the corner from standing on the corner off Route 66, famous Route 66, as the Bulldogs come out to play the Snowflake Lobos. These teams met earlier where the Lobos came victorious, I believe, about an 8-point victories. We just saw the girls' game, and the girls' game we had the Snowflake Lobos by a large margin defeat the Winslow Bulldogs as the Lady Lobos played very well. As we get set to bring you our Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center pregame. Summit Regional Medical Center is everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. And Coach, I'm joined by Coach Mike Brogan. Coach, no injuries that we know of to speak of this evening.
No, I think they all look like they're here.
I think so too. Is again, Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. Next, we're going to go to our keys to the game. Ace Hardware has a 24-hour locksmith. Next time you're locked out of your car and need keys day or replaced any day of the night, any day of the week, call Ace Hardware in Pine Top. And Coach, what is your keys to the game? What is the key to the game tonight?
You know, my philosophy, it's always the team to get the most easy shots wins the game, and I think for Snowflake, what that means is getting out in transition, getting some easy baskets that way. What that means for Winslow is offensive execution. You know, they shoot the three pretty well. So I think those are the keys. If Snowflake can get out in transition, get some easy baskets, I think they're going to win. If they can't, and Winslow can execute and run their offense, and I think Winslow's going to have a good shot.
Now, I was talking to Coach Joe Clare before the game, and Joe said that the key to the game for him, and this isn't our key to the game, it's for him, is he's got to have them prevent the three. Because if they get hot from the three-point line, it could be a long night for the Lobos. As we've all seen, and we've heard the phrase, live by the three, die by the three. And I'm not sure how Winslow's going to do, but I agree with you. Between the 3 points and those fast breaks, what are we going to do to combat that? So, again, folks, this is our Ace Hardware Keys to the Game. Ace Hardware is a 24-hour locksmith. Next time you locked out of your car, just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night. Any night of the week, call Ace Hardware in Pine Top, Overguard, and Sholo. Folks, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut to break. We're going to come back and give you the lineups and get ready to bring you some action on Route 66. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on iTalk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at SholoFord.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Welcome back. Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on iTalk1067.com. And we had our Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report. Nothing major to talk about. And we have our Ace Hardware keys to the game. We've talked about those. Now it's time to get set into play. Action is that we're going to introduce the starters, but a couple things to talk about. Coach, got to kind of move into this right now. The Copper Open, as it's been called, is the Small School Open. The Lobos currently sit 10th in that. Now, we explained this in the girls' game, but the first 2 rounds of the Copper are actually played before the tournament of 1, 2, and 3A. So theoretically, you could lose in the second round and go back into your state tournament. And you guys sit pretty high up in that right now. You're actually 4th, and these Lobos are 10th. And obviously, it's going to change hands. But is there a pride thing about going into the Open and making it to those final 4 teams?
You know, when I explain it to everybody, the perfect scenario is to go win the Open, and then the next best scenario is to lose in the quarterfinal game to go back and then win the 3A state title. So
you could win that first game of the Open, go to that second round, lose that. Then you've already had that playoff experience. So I foresee going to the Open as a major.
Yeah, and I think too, once you get down to those final 4 teams, it's going to be a high level of basketball. There's a couple of 2A schools that are really talented: Phoenix Country Day, Miami, Pima, San Carlos for the girls.
The girls is number 1 is Chin-Lee.
Chin-Lee, and then you got Chin-Lee, us, Paige.
And we saw Chin-Lee against you guys at the beginning of the year, and they're good.
They're very good.
We saw them here against these Bulldogs, and so I look for some action. But folks, we're going to talk about that as the night rolls on. We'll get into the boys' rankings a little bit, as these Lobos, I believe, were 6th in 3A. As for the Bulldogs, Smith, Bia, Panana, David, and Curtis. As there's the tip goes up, and it gets Smith. Smith has it. Now Smith's going to go to his left. He's going to drive the lane. It's going to be put out to Panana. Panana doesn't like it. Now that's going to be intended for Curtis, and it's going to go out of bounds. That's going to belong to the Lobos. So the Lobos get the opening fade of now owning the arrow, but also getting away with a turnover by the Bulldogs as Coor, Claire, Olberg, Irvin, and Brewer in the game for the Lobos. As the Lobos come out in their gray uniforms, trimmed in blue and white, as the Winslow and their home squad comes out in their white uniforms, adorned in the maroon and gold of the Winslow Bulldogs. As I'm Aaron Hewish, I'm joined by Mike Brogan, Mel, our producer in the truck, as Merrick Olberg gets the ball, and he's going to drive the lane with 10 on the shot clock. Now kicking it out to Coor. Coor over on the far side. Coor doesn't like what he sees. Now in the middle to Olberg. Olberg at the top of the key. 3, Olberg spins. Olberg puts it up, and Olberg got a lot of air under that ball, and Irvin almost with the rebound. Instead going to be controlled by Bia for the Bulldogs. As Panana comes forth, over to David. David drives the lane. David puts it up and in, and that's going to be good for Isaac David. 2 points for the Winslow Bulldogs. And, Coach, if he's allowed to do that, the outside game may not even be a factor. They can just feed him the ball.
Yeah, and that's what the difficulty is if you're coming out pressure and trying to take away that 3-point shot. Obviously, the offensive counters to put the ball on the floor. It's hard to guard people at 25 feet. And then, and so the Snowflakes got a tough challenge ahead of them to keep this.
As he makes his second free throw now, Coach, we've seen David, Isaac David of the Bulldogs, and we've also seen Tapaha of the Roadrunners, and they're going to actually match up Friday. But they both play a very similar style of ball, and Tapaha single-handedly took that game against the Lobos the other night and almost had them beat there in Snowflake.
Yeah, it's kind of a lost art of post play, with ball fakes, position, footwork. Tapaha is one of the better post players I've seen in a while, especially when you consider his size and things like that. And I think David's real similar.
As Irvin goes up for a shot, Irvin being contested by Curtis. Foul is going to go to Curtis, and Irvin's going to go to the line to shoot two as the Winslow Bulldogs up early 3-0. Now, Coach, another thing too is, as I was talking to Coach Claire, I told him that we're going to have their game Friday here on Saturday, against Valley Christian. We're going to have the girls' game as well. And he goes, "You mean the game we're not talking about?" And I said, "Oh," and he said, "This Winslow game and that Ouchley game Friday are big trap games for this squad." As Irvin's second free throw is good.
Absolutely right. I mean, they're conference games, especially for the boys, when you're looking at Winslow being, I think the conference comes down to Holbrook, Winslow, Snowflake at this time, right? Those seem to be the best three squads. And so you don't want to give away a game to Winslow tonight. looking ahead or that out-to-say game and put yourself in a hole.
Well, in that out-to-say game, we all know as Coeur makes it on the other end, it's going to go down to Jaden Curtis. Jaden Curtis is going to put up for 2. We all know that going down to White River is a tall order.
That's right. Crowd gets loud and enthusiastic. And
as ball goes inside to Brewer, Brewer has it knocked away. That's going to be knocked away by David, going to be gathered in by Curtis as Bia gets the ball. Bia over to David. David spins, and he's going to travel as there's going to be a shift as Coach Clare is going to get up and give some instructions to his team in front of our broadcast booth here at Winslow High School.
And you see Winslow's kind of putting on this 1-2-2 pressure. I don't know if it's necessarily to generate steals. I think they're just trying to get Snowflake sped up and try to get that game going up and down a little bit.
Well, one thing that I saw last Friday as Claire moves up and in, Claire puts it up and in, and that's going to be 2 points. I saw Snowflake trying to push the ball against the Roadrunners, and what I saw is Coach Delmar Johnson had his guys absolutely shut that down and slow it down, and the Lobos had a rough time with that stop-go pace as we have the ball up, no good. Rebound is by David. Knocked out of bounds. We're going to get a whistle. We're going to get a foul, and I believe that's going to be on Brewer. And that's going to be, no, I think they're going to call it on, is that
good
Irvin?
Call on Irvin, yeah.
That's going to be Irvin's second foul, and that's going to put Gian Jones into the game for the Lobos. That's going to put Curtis at the line to shoot, too.
Well, and that's difficult, right, because I think Brock's probably had the primary responsibility of guarding David tonight. So
well, and we saw that he was on Tapaha, and he did everything he could. Tapaha is just a very good basketball player.
Yeah, and now with that foul trouble now, it's going to cause Snowflake to have to make some adjustments defensively.
As he hits his second free throw, and that's going to be 6 points for the Bulldogs.
But I think, too, that's one of the great things about high school basketball. You get kids step up all the time, right, that maybe you're not counting on, planning on. And with young kids, you get a lot of enthusiasm, excitement, and the kid gets an opportunity, and they really surprise you, with what they can do. So
Lobos lose it out of bounds. There going to be a turnover on the Lobos, now tied 6-6. Ball comes to the Bulldogs. And what I saw tonight out of your team, Coach, was exactly what you just said, and that was the team effort. You had 3 freshmen on the court at one time, and all of them contributing. As Gian Jones gets a rebound, it's going to be no good. The ball is to David. David, no good, and that's going to be Merrick Olberg. Now here come the Lobos on a fast break. Olberg to Claire. Claire moves it up and in. That's going to be no good. Rebound is going to be, well, it's scattered by Smith and Olberg, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds. And referee James Gillespie is going to say, no, that goes out, and it's going to belong to the Lobos as Gian Jones is set to inbound. We're only 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in this quarter, so we're not even halfway through this first quarter action. And it's very rarely that we say in our broadcast the girls' pace definitely out the boys in that first quarter. As Jones is going to shoot a mid-range jumper. That's not going to be good. Rebound is going to be David, and we're calling his name an awful lot. David, cross forward to Lee. Joseph Lee's going to put up for 2, and that's going to be a 2-point lead. As Coeur to Olberg, now inside to Brewer. Brewer back to Coeur. Coeur back to Brewer. Brewer posting up, and Brewer throws it off the bottom of the glass. No good. Here come the Bulldogs.
Got himself stuck under the backboard. They probably won too many passes there, and you like the unselfishness, but sometimes you can make one too many passes and make that shot a little harder than maybe it would have been.
I think it doesn't necessarily get fancy. It just gets you make it difficult.
Right.
As Curtis misses
to recover and that type.
As Curtis misses a 3, and now here come the Lobos. As Olberg's going to put up a long 3-point shot, that's going to be no good. But the long pass is going to be knocked out of bounds by the Bulldogs. As Coeur let up and let that out of bounds, knowing in his mind for sure that they were going to let that go. As we check out scores from around the area, and Coach, we have a little bit of an update on the girls' game over just down the road, down 66, as the Holbrook Roadrunners defeated the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, and that's a game they had to get after Blue Ridge had beaten them in December. And so talking to Coach Perkins, I know he really wanted to get that one and kind of even that score up a little bit. So
I'm missing a basket on the Lobos. Coach, who made that last one? Not sure I was able to get that one right. I think it was Brewer.
Brewer, right?
As Brewer goes up and in, as I missed his first points of the game. As Brewer goes back, I'm going to whistle. We're going to foul. That's Brewer at the line. Apologize, folks. I'm watching and doing too many things here. It's a good thing I have Coach Brogan and Mel in the truck keeping me on task. Brewer going to go to the line to shoot two. As the Lady Roadrunners have defeated the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets in Holbrook tonight. As Brewer's first one clangs off the front of the iron, no good.
Yeah, Sholo also went down to Alchese and won 60-50, I believe, was the final.
So the Sholo Cougars win, and we haven't seen the Sholo Cougars yet on our broadcast. As Brewer makes his second one, we'll have them probably in a few weeks at the Snowflake Lobos. As Benali brings the ball down, guarded by Kaur. Benali now over to Lee. Over on the far side, and that's number 23, Quinones. And Quinones is going to put up an easy two, and that's going to give the Bulldogs a 1-point advantage. Ball sends forward to Jones, now back to Claire. Claire, top of the key to Brewer. To Kaur, three-point shot, that's going to be no good as it was tipped. And that's going to be credited with the rebound by Benali, as Benali's going to put up his own three, and that's going to be no good off the front. No, not off the front. That's no good off anything. Claire with the ball. Claire setting it up. Sending it to Kaur. Kaur now to Olberg. Olberg to Jones. Jones back to Olberg at the top of the key. Now goes to his right. As Olberg's going to put it up. That's going to be good, Merrick Olberg. 2 points for the Lobos, his first two of the night.
You can see both teams are just kind of running their base offenses, trying kind of feeling each other out.
As the ball goes forward to Lee, no good. And now we're going to have the Lobos with the rebound off Lee. Brewer forward to Kaur, no good. That's going to be a rebound by Lee. Forward to David. David now mid-range jumper from the side. Good. 2 points. David sends it through the bottom, 1 minute 54 seconds. We're going to get a timeout. We're going to go ahead and take it to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on iTalk1067.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Arno. I might not be comfortable on the basketball court, but I promise, at Comfort Fit Dentures, you'll feel comfortable, always.
Comfort Fit Dentures has dentures starting at $499 with payment plans, and they have 2 labs, meaning you get your dentures in days instead of weeks. Call Comfort Fit Dentures today to schedule a free exam and x-ray. 928-888-0002. 928-888-0002.
Bridge will help you. Welcome back to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on iTalk1067.com as the Winslow Bulldogs up on a 1-point lead on the Snowflake Lobos. Just under 2 minutes left here in the first quarter as we've had a very good back and forth. A little bit of a slugfest right now as Jones is going to inbound the ball to Claire. Claire bringing the ball up the court. Claire over to Kaur. Kaur now dribbles to the top of the key into the free throw line. Back out to Brewer. Brewer over to Claire. Claire looks like he wants to shoot it now. He drives. He puts up. He's blocked. We're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get a foul, and I believe they're going to call that on.
Yeah, so that was a really good job there by Landon. They came up and had a screen set on his left-hand side. You can see the defenders all shift to the left to play that screen, and really good decision just to go up, to wave that screen off and attack the basket.
As they have the foul to number 35, and I don't have a 35 on my roster. Give me 1 second to see if I can find it. Dalen Nez is credited with number 35. As Claire makes his second free throw, we're going to get a whistle and we're going to get a travel. Ball's going to belong to the Snowflake Lobos. As Claire goes 1 for 2 from the line, ball comes down. Turnover by the Bulldogs, out of bounds.
Yeah, that looked a pretty good move. He covered a lot of ground. I think that probably is what got the traveling call, but it looked like he held that pivot foot down.
As Christian Smith is checked in for the Lobos. Now into Brewer. Brewer is going to be whistled, and he's guarded by David. And that's one thing, Coach, is David, he does it on both ends of the court because he is giving Asher Brewer fits right now underneath.
Yeah, that was a really good job on that. Asher, faked right, kind of spun back to his left, and he was right there to kind of wall that up.
Jones now inbounds to Smith. Smith over to Kaur. Coor to Claire. Now to Jones. Brewer at the top of the key to Claire. Claire looking, 13 on the shot clock. Now to Coor over on the far near side. Smith, free throw jumper. That's going to be good. Christian Smith's first 2 points of the ball game. There's 48 seconds left here in this first quarter. It has been a long first quarter as we've only had 6 fouls called. Now the ball ends up in David's hands. David to the top of the key, guarded by Smith. Over now to number 25, Benali. Lee with the ball, number 20. Over to Quinones.
A really good defensive possession right now for Snowflake.
Nez brings it. Now he gives it to David. David starts to drive. Now gives it out to Quinones, who wanted the 3. Sends it over to Lee, back to Quinones. David, spin move inside. Puts it up, and that's going to be good.
Yeah.
Isaac David, another 2 points.
Snowflake did everything they wanted to. They turned the baseline. They brought the double team. Just better offense. Just a really good play. Great footwork. Soft touch.
As it's going to be stolen with 1 second, 2 seconds. As that's going to be no good, we're going to go ahead and take a break. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Want to go skiing or snowboarding? Visit our friendly Honda Outdoor Sports. We offer skis, snowboards, and helmet rentals, custom footbeds, ski and snowboard repairs, as well as retail shopping for your snow gear, goggles, beanies, snow tubing, and even ice fishing supplies. We have all you need to prepare you for the outdoors. We welcome you to Honda Outdoor Sports, located 1 mile west of the casino.
Welcome back, Shola Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com as the Snowflake Lobos with a 1-point lead to start this second quarter, as very productive for both teams, although the story of the quarter is definitely the play of Isaac David with 7 points on the quarter for the Winslow Bulldogs and also doing it on the defensive end.
Yeah, he made some tough post shots. He's a really skilled player. He's fun to watch.
As the Lobos get it in and they try to push into Claire. Claire loses it off his fingertips. Now here come the Bulldogs with a chance to pull ahead, as that's number 15. That is Panana, and that is knocked away. Now Claire has it stolen. Turnover by the Bulldogs. Lobos ball. Claire to Jones. Jones over on the near side. Inside to Olberg. Now Olberg brings it out to the top of the key. Kicks it over to Claire to the top of the key. Jones over on the far side, 3-point range. Into Christian Smith. Smith has it knocked away briefly. Now Smith to Jones. Now back to Smith. Smith to Jones. Jones over to Claire. 9 on the shot clock, 8 on the shot clock. Inside to Brewer. Brewer back out to Smith. Smith at the top of the key. As Claire's going to put up a long 3-point shot, that's going to be no good. Rebound is going to be, I believe that's number 30, Curtis. I thought it was Smith, but it is Curtis.
Good job.
Now forward to David. David, actually a very rare layup missed by David. Rebound Claire.
Yeah, they had a little bit of pressure from behind on that layup, and I think that may have caused him to rush at that a little bit.
As Oberg drives the lane, puts up a mid-range jumper, that's going to be no good. Rebound is going to go to Curtis. Again, Bulldogs with a chance to take the lead here in the second quarter. Minute and a half gone by. As here comes David. David's going to push it. He's going to put it on the line, and that is good enough for out of bounds. It's amazing, Coach. Some of the sports, it's inbounds. Some of the sports, it's out of bounds. I think if it hits the line in tennis, it's out. I know soccer, it's in.
It's in.
Basketball, it's out.
In tennis, on the line is in. Basketball, it's out.
Football, it's out. Pickleball, we just were told by Mel.
Probably in, right?
Is it in or out?
Yeah.
Our producer, Mel West, it is in pickleball. So there you go, folks. You got your lesson of sports for the evening. Baseball, Jaws Chalk.
Yeah,
it's
Chalk,
in.
It's in. That's right.
Hits the foul pole. It's in.
It's interesting. I don't know. It seems kind of random at times, right? Who does what and where. But
as Curtis puts a ball up and in, and Coach, there's no answer for Curtis and David for the Lobos right now.
No,
they cannot compete with that. As I think what's going in to compete just is getting ready to check in, and that's Cody Flake.
Yeah, I like that substitution by Coach Claire. What's happening though? I think they're giving them a little too much room and allowing them to go where they want. Then when they catch the ball, then we're up trying to guard. Probably got to give them a little more resistance and not let them get to their spot.
So, Coach, is that because they're afraid of getting in foul trouble?
Yeah, and the game has changed, right? When we played 30, 40 years, it was much more physical, and we were taught get up and bump and hit. And lately they want you not to bump cutters and things like that. So I do think that's part of it. Style of play has changed, and they don't want to commit fouls.
As Panana's going to miss the shot, but of course it's going to be rebounded by David. David's going to put it back up and in. Now it's an 18-15 advantage for the Winslow Bulldogs. As this is going to go to Claire. Claire does tie it. Comfort Fit Dentures 3-point shot. Landon Claire for the Snowflake Lobos. 18-18. 5 minutes and 24 seconds left in the second quarter.
Yeah, big shot there kind of slows that Winslow run a little bit.
And Coach, to your point, it seems that we talked about this last game, but it seems that even in the high school game lately, the emphasis on the offensive foul and the fouls on the post play are lending itself to this outside game. Luckily, it hasn't trickled down too much in high school, but we are seeing the effects of the trickle down.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see. I know Rennell got whistled for an offensive foul on a post move early in the game.
That's going to be an offensive foul.
That's exactly what you're talking
Curtis
about here, and I just don't like that call. He had the right away. He was already in his lift to get off the ground. Defender comes underneath him late. I think that's just we see the contact, and defender goes down. He was in front of him, but you know I think no call is much more appropriate in that situation. But I think that goes to what you're saying, that kind of everybody's looking for offensive foul calls now.
As the Lobos get it inside to Cody Flake, as Cody Flake and Kyle Willie, number 55, both check in, and they're muscling against each other as Cody's now going to go to the line to shoot a couple. And Cody Flake, I think he came in to combat exactly what we were just talking about. And I don't like to see, as Cody Flake's first one is no good, Coach, I just don't like to see the big man, because I grew up in the 90s, which I still, whether you think so or not, it's the pinnacle of the NBA. Ewing, Shaq, Olajuwon,
David
Mark
Robinson,
Eaton,
Barkley,
David Robinson,
Malone, like a lot of post players in there, right?
I mean, even he wasn't necessarily, he was a post, but he played inside as much as possible. Was Sean Kemp.
Yeah,
just the way those guys played. As that's going to be a whistle. We're going to get a ball out of bounds. It's going to belong to the Winslow Bulldogs. But I grew up in that era of they drive the lane, and those guys not only rebounded, but they were in there banging the boards and everything that we liked about it. And I'm not sure if it's just an emphasis right now, but thank goodness the high school game still has that element of inside play somewhat, as that's going to be knocked away. It's going to be grabbed by Willie, and that's going to be number 25, Ian Benali, for 2 points. We're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get a timeout. We're going to go ahead and take it. Shola Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com.
Today we're showing two beautiful cars and the savings that you can get on those this month. We have the 2024 Chevy Colorado LT 4x4. We can save you $3,100 this month, giving you a new sale price of $41,735. Next, we have a 2025 Chevy LT Trailblazer. We can save you $1,500 with a new sale price of $24,530. Horn Auto Center, the Chevy store that saves you more.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass in Tent now has 3 locations to serve you: Snowflake, Lakeside, and now Sholo. And with over 85 years combined experience in auto glass and over 40 years of combined experience in window tint, you can trust the experts at Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint with your vehicle. Call them today.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
Problem is,
welcome back. Shola Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com, as the Lobos, down 2, are going to inbound the ball.
Technically, he can come in. He's not supposed to. You get to. So what people don't realize, there's those buzzers at the at the timeouts, and the buzzer is to tell you when you can have subs come in and out. And so if you get there before the first horn, you're supposed to be able to sub in. After the first horn, you're not.
As Lobos now with the ball, down 2, just past halfway in this second quarter. as the ball's out to Flake to Irvin. Now to Brewer. Brewer throws to Flake, who's at the top of the key. Flake pushes inside to Irvin. He gets knocked out, grabbed in by Claire. Claire now gets it stolen by David. We're going to whistle, and we're going to get a foul on Asher Brewer. As we're going to have a check-in for the Lobos. And checking in for the Lobos is number 20. I don't have him on my roster. I was looking to see if he was... I think that's Irvin King. For the Snowflake Lobos, wearing number 20, as the ball's going to go to David. David back to Panana. Panana out to Smith. Smith at the free throw line. He drives hard. Smith's going to put it up. That's going to be a whistle. We're going to get a foul. I believe they're going to call that one. I was going to say on the ground, but it looks like somebody lost their glasses. As we're going to get so we don't know if it's a violation or a foul. As we are going to get. That's going to be Irvin King's going to be whistled for the foul, and that's going to put Jace Smith at the line to shoot a couple. As the Bulldogs up 20-18 still, as Smith's going to go to the line to shoot a pair. Smith yet to score, which is surprising because he and David have been kind of featured inside. Bulldogs going with a bigger post lineup right now as they have Smith, David, and Willie in there. Smith making his first free throw. That gives them a 3-point lead. And no good on the second one. Rebound is saved by King and almost taken away by the Bulldogs, but saved and thrown to Brewer, who now throws it forward to Kaur. Kaur now driving the lane. Inside,
nice
pass to Brewer. Nice pass up and in. That is Aiden Kaur to Asher Brewer for 2 points. And Brewer's going to have to get involved in this offense if the Lobos want to have much more of a chance of getting this lead at all, as they are down one. As David goes in, David with a floating 2 points, and he is having himself a night, as that is his 11th point of the night. Forward from Claire to Kaur. Kaur, no good. We're going to whistle. We're going to get a foul, as it doesn't seem like we're calling a lot of fouls, but it seems like we've had a lot of stops. The foul is going to be called on Benali.
Yeah, I'm sure it's for that underneath hand on his hip when he was going up. You know, he doesn't allow Aiden to finish that shot.
As this is going to put Kaur at the line. Kaur's going to hit his first one. As the Lobos looking after this game, heading down the road to White River to play the Alchese Falcons on Friday in a big matchup, as well as the one that I know that their coach and players aren't talking about, and that's the matchup Saturday, as the number 2 ranked, number 1 in 3A, the Valley Christian Trojans, I believe they're second in the Open, are coming to play the Lobos, and both their girls and their boys will be playing the Lobos on Saturday in huge, almost not really a playoff atmosphere, but just a very big basketball atmosphere, something we've lacked to see over the last 10 years.
Well, and it's why we scheduled that game. We knew they'd be competitive on both sides, and it should be a fun matchup, you know, both boys and girls Saturday nights.
As we're going to get a whistle and we're going to get a foul as some more court debris falls down. As we have a whistle and a stop and play. That's going to belong to the Bulldogs, bringing it in.
Be interested to see how he plays without his without his glasses.
Isn't there kind of, as David gets the ball inbounds and puts it up for another 2 points.
Yeah, that's not going to make Coach Claire happy.
Isn't there an old story about a kicker who kicked the ball and they asked him why he didn't watch the ball go through the uprights, and he said, because I didn't have my glasses on. The coach said, how do you not have your glasses on? He said, you were yelling at me to go kick, so I went and kicked. I don't remember the exact story.
I haven't heard that story, but that's awesome.
I want to say I'll have to look it up, maybe at halftime. As Kaur has the ball, now he goes to Brewer. Brewer goes to his left. Brewer now to Jones. Jones driving the lane. Jones slips and falls, and I'm a little nervous about Jones on that bum knee as he wakes up, and he looks like he's almost limping a little bit, as we're going to get a shot clock violation.
Yeah, it looks like
Irvin's going to check back
when
in.
Jones went down, there's something black that came off. I don't know if off his knee brace or if it came off of. Looks like Cody Flake picked it up.
He actually is favoring that other leg and an ankle, so not good news for the Lobos because Gian Jones, one of the smoothest players I've ever seen play basketball in Snowflake. He does a fantastic job. As the ball ends up, number 40 Smith, inside no good. Lobos down 3, now with the ball, chance to tie. As it's forward, Irvin, that's going to go out of bounds. 1 minute, 23 seconds left. Bulldogs, 25-22, up on the Snowflake Lobos.
Yeah, good idea there. They just couldn't connect. The execution, not so great, but idea's good. And opportunity for them to get an easy basket, but they just couldn't get the pass there. But
inside to Curtis, 3-point shot, and that 3-point shot's Benali. Panana with the rebound. Now to David. David now sends a 3-point shot to Benali, over to Smith, back to David. David over to Benali. Benali inside the 3-point line, no good. Rebound Olberg.
Snowflake's gone to his own these last 2 or 3, but that's going to be a foul on David.
You can't dive after that ball and cut someone out.
Yeah, that's a safety concern because you look at righty, hits right on that outside of that knee, and you end up with some
it's kind of like that
injuries.
That hip drop tackle we see in the NFL. Why they outlawed it, because it's just protecting the knees. As Coors going to come out, Claire's going to go back in as Bulldogs hanging on to this 3-point lead under a minute left in the first half. And Coach, one of the things is tonight in this atmosphere and the gymnasium, it is a little preview for the game Friday. I think Friday is going to be a little more full, but it's an atmosphere that the Lobos got to play in. And then Saturday, I expect it to be kind of full in the den at Snowflake High School.
Yeah, it's we know Friday we're going to run into, the outstate crowd is as good as it gets. So really good work on the offensive glass here by Snowflake.
As they in and off, finally Merrick Olberg gets it. 5 misses for the Lobos. Not anything coming of that. 5 misses, Coach. 5 misses, 5 boards. Now to the Lobos. Panana bringing down the ball. And the Lobos look very frustrated right now. Very frustrated. Playing defense against these Bulldogs who are collecting themselves. Now bringing it out, slowing it down as the ball goes out to Panana. Now Smith throws up a 3. No good. Rebound Jones.
Yeah, 10 seconds on the clock. You're not super happy with that. That's going to give Snowflake at least an opportunity to get a shot.
As Claire's going to put up a long 3, and that's going to, in the quarter, that's going to be no good. We're going to go ahead and take a break. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school basketball. We'll come back and give you the halftime show. Shola Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learn a new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at SholoFord.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
You've been there waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Hi, I'm Dr. Arno. I might not be comfortable on the basketball court, but I promise, at Comfort Fit Dentures, you'll feel comfortable. Always.
Comfort Fit Dentures has dentures starting at $499 with payment plans, and they have 2 labs, meaning you get your dentures in days instead of weeks. Call Comfort Fit Dentures today to schedule a free exam and x-ray. 928-888-0002. 928-888-0002.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Want to go skiing or snowboarding? Visit our friendly Honda Outdoor Sports. We offer skis, snowboards, and helmet rentals, custom footbeds, ski and snowboard repairs, as well as retail shopping for your snow gear, goggles, beanies, snow tubing, and even ice fishing supplies. We have all you need to prepare you for the outdoors. We welcome you to Honda Outdoor Sports, located 1 mile west of the casino.
Today we're showing 2 beautiful cars and the savings that you can get on those this month. We have the 2024 Chevy Colorado LT 4x4. We can save you $3,100 this month, giving you a new sale price of $41,735. Next, we have a 2025 Chevy LT Trailblazer. We can save you $1,500 with a new sale price of $24,530. Horn Auto Center, the Chevy store that saves you more.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint now has 3 locations to serve you: Snowflake, Lakeside, and now Sholo. And with over 85 years combined experience in auto glass and over 40 years of combined experience in window tint, you can trust the experts at Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint with your vehicle. Call them today.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
This is iTalk 1067's presentation of the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store halftime show.
Welcome back. Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on iTalk1067.com. Now time for our Honda Ski and Outdoor halftime show. For the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear, go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store at the Pine Top on Highway 260, just before you get to the Honda Casino. So, Coach, Winslow 25, Lobos 22. The story of the game, bottom line, is the play of Isaac David on both ends of the court. As we look at the replay here, we have Smith to, that was actually to Curtis,
yeah.
But David has 13 points in the first half, effectively way more than half his team's points. And the Winslow's also done it without a three-point shot.
Yeah, and they've kind of forced Snowflake into double in the post a little bit. They've done he's where he's touching the ball on that low block makes it really hard to guard him down there with it, all that. So, and so if he continues to get touches down there, he's either going to continue to score, or they're going to break down the defense and force double teams and leave people open in the second half. But
so, okay, moving forward, what do both, I mean, it's cliche, what do both teams have to do? I'm serious. What does Snowflake have to do to get back in this game? They're in it, but what do they have to do to take advantages?
Yeah, I still think they got to get the transition game going a little bit.
Agreed.
And that's a little hard. Winslow's done a really good job taking care of the basketball. and their offensive rebounding has been pretty good, and so they've really limited.
Neither team has turned the ball over a lot.
No, right.
And the turnovers have been aggressive turnovers where you tip it after a rebound or a loose ball and you kind of tip it out of bounds.
Yeah.
So now if you're the Bulldogs, what do you do to maintain? Do you keep feeding David? Do you decoy? Do you
I'm going to keep
pick and roll?
Yeah, I'm going to keep feeding him every chance I can get.
We look on our replay right there as the Lobos double team him, and he has a turnaround jumper, and it's good.
Yeah, and I think I've been really impressed with Winslow, their ability to, look out in transition. They attempt to push the ball, and when they don't have it, they run offense, and they'll take 25 seconds on the shot clock and get post touches. They can play fast and they can play slow, which makes it really, you got to be really disciplined to be able to guard.
Well, one of the things is in the game of high school basketball, you have to play your region opponent twice. And it's not like baseball or softball where you see a different pitcher. You're man on man and you play the same team. You could play a baseball team and they throw their number 2 and then you see them again, you throw their number 1, it's a whole different ballgame. But in basketball, you match up mano a mano, and the fact is Winslow probably had been prepping for this game for a while because it's showing on both ends of the court.
Yeah, and especially when you lose, right? It's a really hard thing as a coach because when you lose the game and you get to play again, you make the adjustments because you lost, right?
Yes.
But if you win the game, you're like, okay, that worked for us. We got the win, so we'll continue to try this, and this, and then you kind of make some subtle adjustments to just
that's
fine-tune, right?
The nature of the chess game of what are they going to do, and that's, in high school football, you don't play your opponents twice unless it's in the playoffs, and even then it gets scary.
Yeah, and
basketball, you could see your opponent in a tournament, then you could see him again in the regular season twice, and then you could potentially see him again in the playoffs. And if you're that good, it's hard to beat a team 3, if not 4 times in a season.
Yeah, and when you look at, when you include the summer, for example, we played Holbrook, I believe, 6 times last summer. And
so they knew what to expect, and you get a coach like
we knew. Yeah, both teams knew what the other team was going to do, and it's just who executes it better.
Well, and you saw that your last game when you have Coach Greg Perkins, and he tells you what to do, and you play him 6 times in the summer, and in an early season tournament, he's able to do that. So, folks, we're going to wrap it up here from our Honda Ski and Outdoor halftime show. For the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear, go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor store at the Pine Top on Highway 260. Just before you get to the Honda Casino, we're going to segue in here to Shola Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com as we get set to bring you third quarter action here from Winslow High School as we get set for our Northland Pioneer College tip-off. When it comes time to tip off your college education, tip it off at the college with the lowest tuition in the state. Now offering bachelor's degrees in business and education. Northland Pioneer College, locations in Navajo and Apache County. Northland Pioneer College, as the alternating possession, I believe, is going to favor the Winslow Bulldogs, as wipe the score clean, 25-22, Bulldog advantage, as they're going to inbound the ball here, and Winslow going with their starters, as well as the Lobos going with their starters. And something to watch in our Summit Healthcare injury report is that knee or ankle of Gian Jones as he came down awkward on it. It looked like he was not moving as smoothly as he was early on in the game. Yeah, Winslow to inbound the ball, and that's a quick to Panana, and that's going to be up for Bia, no good. Rebound's going to be off, and it's going to belong to the Lobos as Irvin blocked out and let that ball fall out of bounds.
Yeah, and I believe, didn't Gian miss one of the games earlier last week with it sprained his ankle in practice on a Wednesday?
I'm not sure, and maybe that's what it was, as Coor brings the ball down.
Re-aggravated that ankle.
Coor over to Claire. Claire to Irvin. Irvin kind of was looking at a 3. Now Coor inside, seeing the court, up to Claire. That's going to be no good. A rebound going to be by the Bulldogs. That's going to be Bia with the rebound. As Bia now brings the ball, he's at the 28-foot line, now to the top of the key. Back over to Smith. Smith putting it up, no good. Rebound Lobos. Fast break, 1-on-2 to Coor. Coor back to Irvin. Irvin now over to the far side, near side, to Claire. Claire, mid-range jumper, good. About 16 feet out for Landon Claire for the first points of the third quarter. 1 minute gone here in the quarter.
Yeah, really good decision there by Landon not to take the 3 and with that defender running at him, put the ball on the floor and get a mid-range jump shot.
Coach, I have an interesting question for you, and I don't want to, as Smith's going to put up a long 3, and that's going to be no good. It's going to be out of bounds, and I believe it's going to stay. Coach, did you play with the three-point line?
Yes and no. So the three-point line actually came into play my junior year. So I got 2 years without it and 2 years with it.
Okay. And we saw the game. It didn't change as much as we thought that three-point was going to change it.
Not in the beginning, no.
But then it has evolved into that. And it's interesting to me how it's put up and put down. I remember when they painted it on our court in my hometown is we're going to get a punch and we're going to get an offensive foul. And I believe that is going to be David's third personal. And that's going to be, yes, it is going to be his third personal.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 of them have been, 2 or all 3 have been offensive fouls as well.
And what was that, 84, 85-ish, Coach, when that three-point line came in?
I'm not that old, but thanks. It's 87, 88.
Okay, there you go.
So
as Coor's going to hit a Comfort Fit Dentures three-point shot. Coach, I wasn't trying to make it, but
right.
To your point, it was one of those things, when I say to your point, is that trickled down from the NBA to college to high school, and it has become such a part of the game that now they're talking in the NBA about tweaking it. As David goes in, no good, rebound is Irvin. Here come the Lobos. Oberg, front to Coor. Lobos with their first lead of the game. Now knocked away by Irvin to Claire. Claire out to Coor. Coor to Oberg. Oberg inside to Brewer. To Irvin. Up and in. No good. Rebound. We're going to get a whistle. We're going to get a foul. Coach, your point.
Yeah, I was going to say, so, and when it first came in, I think I led my team in three-point shot attempts for the season with like 25. It just wasn't a weapon that we used. It was much more for floor spacing. Now it gave us a spot where to start our offenses at and things like that. And now it's evolved into...
It's an offense for some teams.
It's an offense, yeah.
As here comes Brewer down the court, and Brewer's going to put him in. Brewer, little contested, we're going to go whistle, we're going to get a foul, and we're going to get a blocking foul, and that's going to put Irvin at the line to shoot 2.
You know, and I'm really amazed. My daughter's playing at Glendale, and that three-point line is back.
Yes,
a foot and a half or 2 foot. It's I think 21 and a half feet or 21.9 or something, and it's not affected her at all. She's still hitting them. She's still shooting.
Well, there's talk in the NBA about moving it to where it doesn't arch to the baseline; it just kind of goes out. And I don't know what's going to happen with that or how that's going to, but it's the NBA has become a three-point league. As Irvin's second free throw is no good.
I think the NBA, they need to widen the floor to about 60 foot. So I add 5 foot to each side, keep that three-point line at 24 foot, 9 inches all the way around, and then take out all the rules about no zones, none of this, and just let them play basketball. Just give them more room to make up for how big they are.
Irvin's no good. 27-25 Lobos as we had a violation. As Irvin goes 0 for 2 with that violation at the line, here comes David and the Bulldogs.
The Snowflakes come out of the second half a little more fire here than Winslow has, and it's got them erased that deficit and got them up by 2.
Coach, I think it goes to that old cliche in sports where you're playing not to lose rather than playing to win, and now the Lobos are trying to play to win, whereas the first half I felt like they were just trying to hold on to it, as David's going to go to the line to add to his point, try to add to his point total tonight. They call them free throws, but they are less than free. David misses the front end as they are down 2 with 5 minutes and 24 seconds left. Down 27-25 are the Bulldogs. David's second free throw. That one is good. We're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get it in a 30-second timeout. We're going to go ahead and take it to Shoulder Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learn a new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
Welcome back, Shoulder Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com. As we welcome all of you joining us from Winslow High School tonight, as I'm Aaron Hewish, joined by Coach Mike Brogan, as the Snowflake Lobos clinging to a 1-point lead, as Isaac David just made his second of 2 attempts at the free throw line, and now here comes Coor for the Lobos crossing over the time stripe. Coor now at the top of the key. Coor to his left. Coor on the far side to his left, now back to the middle. Coor drives the lane, puts it up and in. No good. Rebound, fought hard to by Irvin. And we're going to get a travel as Irvin came down with that board, but he walked as he barely had enough possession of that to be called a travel, and how appropriate we call a travel on Route 66 tonight.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration on that call from Brock. I'm sure he felt like he got bumped, and I'm sure he did.
As David puts it up, and David's going to put the Bulldogs back on top of the Lobos, 28-27. As the cat and mouse game continues back and forth, as here comes Brewer over on the far side. Brewer back to Core. Core now to Claire. Claire out to Oberg over on the near side. Oberg driving the middle of the lane. Now out to Brewer. Brewer the top of the key into Irvin. Irvin, that's going to be contested. Up and in. Irvin, no good. Rebound. We're going to get a bump and we're going to get a foul, and that's going to be on the Lobos. Bulldogs ball.
Yeah, and you got to make those easy ones, right? That you don't have that foul if we make that 2-foot shot.
Benali,
a lot easier to say as a coach, right? Than it is to actually do it.
Benali and Lee in for the Bulldogs. Irvin out for the Lobos, and Gian Jones back in. As Lee crosses the ball over the time stripe, and substitutions for the Bulldogs, and that's going to be a walk as the ball was thrown inside from David to Curtis, and Curtis shuffled the feet a bit too much for the rules. And oh wow, great job by our replay crew on getting that one. As here come the Lobos down one, just over halfway through this third quarter left. As Jones now gets it to Oberg. Oberg over to Claire. Now to Core at the top of the key. Core back to Claire. Claire tries to fake it up. Now inside to Brewer. Brewer puts it up and in, no good. Rebound Oberg. And Oberg puts about as smooth back of a bucket as you can get. Oberg with another 2 adding to his total for the night as David's going to get the ball. David, free throw line jumper. Good! Isaac David, 2 points for the Winslow Bulldogs as they go back on top. And the chase continues as Claire brings the ball. Claire being contested by Lee. Now Claire drives the lane. He puts it up and in. That's going to be a 2 points land to Claire. As we're going to get a whistle, we're going to get a timeout. The Shola Forge presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com.
At Summit Healthcare, you'll find a level of care you might not expect from a rural hospital. We've recently received 5 stars from CMS, a prestigious ranking that less than 5% of facilities in Arizona earned. Our cancer center has proven its level of advanced care with a national accreditation from the Commission on Cancer. And we continue to add more doctors and services so that you don't have to leave the mountain to find the care you need. At Summit Healthcare, we're elevating care here at home.
Give me a foul.
Welcome back, Shola Forge presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com. As the Winslow Bulldogs come out of the timeout down 1 as Coach Claire called that one. The Bulldogs are going to inbound, and Coach, we just had a back and forth. The lead change has been 7 times this quarter.
Yeah, it's been, it doesn't seem like either team can really put together, 2 or 3 offensive possessions with 2 or 3 defensive possessions.
Now, I haven't looked at the schedule yet, but Winslow, and we kind of said before that for the boys, as we're going to get a long 3-point, and that's Gino Quinones with a 3-point shot, a Comfort Fit Dentures 3-pointer, and the Bulldogs are now back on top. Coach, we've talked about how the Lobos, the Bulldogs, and the Roadrunners have kind of marred their way into a 3-way race for this 3A East. And so every point, every bucket, every game is precious for both these teams. And the Lobos have a little bit of a stretch here between Winslow and Alchese, both on the road.
Yeah, and you look here, too. This is the second time that the boys have played Winslow.
Yes.
And so this is it for these 2 teams to play each other and to kind of, for Snowflake to get a little bit of separation.
Now, you guys were at a tournament the last time they played, I believe.
Yeah, we were at the EAC tournament.
And so you have to play Winslow, as we're going to get a whistle and we're going to get a foul. Are they going to call that one on David as an offensive foul? And I got to watch that replay. I saw it, but I'm not sure exactly what I was seeing. Is David gets whistled for. That's his 4th personal, and that is where the Lobos are going to have to take advantage of him going down on the bench.
Yeah, and if you look, he comes across and he kind of clears Gian out with this little shoulder movement there.
And if you see the replay, you can obviously see why the foul was called. Great job by the officials on seeing that. As Landon Clare is going to shoot just inside the 3-point, and that's going to fall good. And again, Coach, this has got to be the Lobos' opportunity to get this. They just tied it. Now they've got, with David out, they got to hit that inside.
It'll be interesting to see how long he sits out in the 4th quarter.
as now the ball goes into Curtis, as Curtis is going to be charged with those inside points. Curtis charged by Brewer, and Curtis gets an easy he misses it. As Brewer gets a rebound, now it's hit to Coeur as it goes down to Claire. Claire had to stretch a little bit as Coeur tries to get the rebound. Jones tries to get the rebound. It eventually falls out, and at the three-point line, Panana grabs it in. And Panana now brings up the court as Smith and Irvin check back in for the Lobos.
You saw both young men there on both sides looked like they were trying to not have their shots blocked rather than just to try to make the shot and kind of let it happen. But
as that's missed off the mark, and that's going to be missed again by Panana. Rebound is going to be Oberg. Here comes Claire. Claire goes up and in, no good. Rebound, number 25, Benali, as it's forward to Nez. Nez now gives it back to Benali. No, excuse me. Now Benali has it. Inside to Curtis. Curtis looking, guarded by Brewer. Over to Panana. Panana, three-point shot. That one's good. Comfort Fit Dentures, three-point shot. Isaac Panana, as the Winslow Bulldogs taking a three-point lead on the Lobos. Here's Claire to Jones. Jones at the top of the key. Over to Brewer. Now to Claire. Claire over on the near side. Claire steps back just inside the three-point line. Landon Claire, 2 points, and Landon shooting well, but down one as the Panana three-pointer put the Bulldogs up 3.
Yeah, he's had
43 seconds left.
Pretty good quarter here. I was wondering if they were going to get that call.
As the ball was intended for Curtis, and Brewer just wrapped it around a bit too much, as you see on our replay there. And Mr. Bodway calls a foul, and if we're calling it both ways, that absolutely has to be called, Coach.
Yeah, and it just, the whistle was just a little late. But it was the correct call.
As now the ball's inbounded to number 25, Benali. Benali drives. He's at the free throw line. Out to Panana. Panana at the free throw line. Back around. That's going to be up and good for Panana. Isaac Panana. As so now Landon Clare to Christian Smith. Smith out to Brewer. 38-35. Bulldogs on top of the Lobos as Irvin goes in. Irvin puts it in for almost an easy 2. As now 38-37, 10 seconds left. Here come the Bulldogs. Bulldogs with a golden opportunity to go up 4 going into halftime if they can put up a three-point shot, which I believe Panana will do. Three-pointer, no good. Rebound is going to be off. That's going to end the quarter. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at SholoFord.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Welcome back. Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on iTalk1067.com as the cat and mouse chase has ended the third quarter with the Bulldogs up 38-37 on the Snowflake Lobos. However, the alternating possession favoring the Lobos, and the big story of the third quarter was Landon Clare's shooting as well as Isaac David for the Bulldogs getting in foul trouble. And like Coach Brogan said, curious to see how long he sits. Lobos with the ball. Here's Jones at the inside to Christian Smith. That's going to put the Lobos back on top for the moment, up by 1. 7 minutes and 45 seconds left.
And there comes David.
And there comes David back in, not even going to let him sit a minute. As we're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get we're not going to get a whistle, excuse me. As we're going to get a steal. Brewer's going to throw it along court to Smith. Smith's going to put it in for an easy 1. And the Lobos now up 3. So a turn of events is now 35 seconds have gone by. Curtis with the ball. Curtis trips and falls. That's going to go to Gian Jones. Jones has it. Now forward to Claire. Claire had the fast break, held it up a little bit, put up to Irvin. And Irvin throws up a prayer.
Timeout coming here.
as we're going to get a whistle. We're going to time out. We're going to go ahead and take it. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there, and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Welcome back to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com as
we got a full timeout.
Well, Coach, we saw Winslow call that timeout to get Isaac David back in the game. So he hasn't set quite a minute, but he's going to be playing with 4 fouls.
Yeah, and he'll have to play carefully. You wonder, always your hesitancy as a coach. Certainly you don't want the 4th foul, but he's got to play some defense in there too, right? Especially being a post player.
Well, and I'm sure Coach Clare, as we're going to get a whistle and we're going to get a push, as that's going to go on Smith. And one of the things I'm not sure if Coach Clare said it or not, but do the Lobos know to go after him? Are they that aware of the game right now?
Yeah, and I'm sure that's part of it. As long as you get the matchup that you want, I really like doing that. But sometimes you kind of force yourself into throwing the ball to some of your lesser offensive players, trying to draw a foul on their best player or whatever, and you kind of stagnate your offense.
Well, there's Lobos come down the court, and there's Smith, and there's Irvin putting it up and in. And if Irvin would have made that, he might have made it in every position possible that you could do a under the basket shot tonight. As Benally having the ball, Benally sends it over to David. David drives the lane, guarded by Jones. David puts in a long jumper, no good. Rebound Curtis. Curtis tries to do the old pop back, and it's no good. Now the rebound is to Brewer. Brewer gives it to Clare, and Clare sends it forward to Jones, who drives the lane inside to Irvin. Irvin slips off his hands to Brewer, and that's going to be no good, which means Smith is going to get it. Smith behind the back, which gives it to Clare. Clare's now going to put up a long three-point shot, no good, and we're going to get a whistle, and I believe they're going to call a foul on Asher Brewer. The stereotypical you can't call that over the back because that's not a foul, but he basically went into his back and went over it.
Yeah,
so it's a push in the book.
Yeah, when you go through the back to get to the ball, right? But it's you can start to feel like Snowflake's starting to get down the floor a little quicker than Winslow now. Feels like maybe some conditioning and stuff is coming into play here. They just got to finish down here on their side of the basket. They have had 4 or 5 transitions here in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and I think they've come up empty on a vast majority of them, so they're going to have to get those to start falling.
But Winslow has still been very good on the boards. They've been able to maintain this Lobo attack on the boards, and that's kept him in the game. And as long as they have Isaac David out there, as we're going to get a three-point shot, and that's going to be good. A Comfort Fit Dentures three-point shot by Jace Smith, and that cuts the Snowflake lead to 2. Exactly what the Bulldogs needed right now. As there's an inside court pass to Irvin. Irvin no good. Irvin's going to fight for the rebound with Curtis. That's going to be no good. It's going to be tipped off by Irvin, and that's going to fall back in the hands. Here come the Bulldogs. As that's number 40. Smith's going to put up a long three-point shot. Rebounded by Smith of the Lobos. Smith forward to Gian Jones. Jones drives the lane into Brewer. Brewer puts it up and in, and that's 2 points. Asher Brewer. Lobos back on top by 4. Smith at the top of the key, guarded close by Irvin. Now into Panana. Panana loses the ball out of his hands, and we're going to go whistle, and we're going to get an offensive foul. If we can watch the replay here, as moving screen. And that's, Coach, one of those ones where they come forward and they don't quite set in time, and there's a collision, and these officials are doing a great job of not letting it get out of hand.
Yeah, and that's frustrating as a coach because that's not part of your offense. It's just someone trying to make a play. And, usually when you run at someone instead of screen, it doesn't work out well for you.
As Brewer sends it over to Smith. Smith drives the lane. Now he puts it up, and that's going to be Brewer with the ball. And Brewer's going to put it back in for a quick 2 points. And the Lobos have come alive as now they lead 6, which matches their longest lead of the game, which was in the first quarter, Coach. As the ball's into, and that's going to be David. Pass from Curtis to David. David's going to put it up and in. We're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get a timeout. We're going to go ahead and take it. This is Show Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Arno. I might not be comfortable on the basketball court, but I promise, at Comfort Fit Dentures, you'll feel comfortable. Always.
Comfort Fit Dentures has dentures starting at $499 with payment plans, and they have 2 labs, meaning you get your dentures in days instead of weeks. Call Comfort Fit Dentures today to schedule a free exam and x-ray. 928-888-0002. 928-888-0002.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce.
Presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com is the Lobos with a 4-point lead, bringing the ball up the court. Ball is forward to Smith. Smith down to Brewer, back out to Clare. As Jones with the ball. Jones just outside the free throw jumper. Gian Jones, 2 points, and that's actually Jones's first points of the night to put the Lobos back on top 6. Just under 4 minutes left to play. As Curtis now with the ball. Curtis to Panana. Panana 3-point shot. Actually, excuse me. That was Benali. 3-point shot, no good. And Coach, David's in the game, but he's not as big of a factor, and that's got to be the mental issue of having those 4 fouls.
Right. He's a little half step slower, right? You don't want to be too aggressive and run into a foul and things like that. So kind of slows you down some.
As here's David on the far side. He's going to put up a long 3-point shot. That's going to be no good. Rebound is going to be Curtis. Curtis looking now to Panana. Panana over to Smith. Smith inside to David. Back out to Curtis. Curtis 3-point shot. No good. Rebound David. David, monster rebound. Puts it back in. He's going to be fouled. And he's going to go to the line to shoot a couple. And nobody will question that man's effort tonight. And he, either if they don't pull off or if they pull off the win, Isaac David is definitely in our running for our player of the game or our glass man of the game.
Yeah, I think he's definitely, it's been a different game when he's been in. He just gives that calming influence to Winslow. They're able to get some offense to run through him.
Well, and he's just a good shooter because he puts another one up and adds his total. .21 on the night so far, Coach. As that's still before he shoots the second one as he breathes at the line. Takes a second. His second free throw is good.
Yeah, he doesn't even hit the
Cuts the lead to 4.
Most of his shots.
As here's Jones. Jones over to Smith. Smith now being guarded. Now Smith throws it intended for Clare, and he throws it away. And Coach Clare, as we have the advantage of sitting at the bench there, is Coach Clare telling his boys, communicate, communicate, communicate.
Well, and at that point, 4-point lead, 3 minutes left. Every possession is valuable here. You at least want to get a good possession, get a good shot up, make or miss.
As Benali brings it into Smith. Back over to Panana. Panana inside for David. David, jump shot. Good. Another 2 points for Isaac David as we get a whistle and we get a...
Looks like a delay of game call, so 30 must have caught the ball out of the rim and thrown it.
So that just goes as a delay. There's no
yeah.
violation. It's just a delay.
On the first one.
Then
right?
the second one you get. So the Lobos are going to inbound the ball as Irvin's going to inbound to Clare. Clare's now going to bring up the ball with a 2-point lead as it goes to Oberg. Oberg back and forth. Oberg now to Irvin. Irvin pushes it inside to Brewer. Brewer tries to put up and in. It's no good. We'll see who they call the foul on.
That looks like that's going to be 15, but that's a really good job by Asher to seal David on that backside. And
it is
15 coming out.
It is going to be 15, Panana.
Yeah.
And that's going to put Brewer at the line. Brewer, been a pretty solid, half and half free throw shooter this year. As the Winslow crowd definitely going to make it difficult on him. As Brewer's first one is good. That puts the lead to 3. Here's Brewer's second attempt. That one is no good. As Irvin gets the rebound, now out to Kaur. Irvin clears it out to Kaur in the backcourt. Kaur on the far side now brings it to the top of the key. Kaur over to Brewer.
Yeah, they certainly don't need to be in a hurry here, right? The clock is on their side.
As Oberg gets up with the ball, over to Irvin. Irvin now setting the screen, now to Claire. Claire at the free throw line. Claire shoots a free throw jumper. That's going to be no good. Rebound, a hard rebound by Irvin, and a fresh shot clock. Now to Aiden Kaur. Aiden Kaur brings out the ball to clear it. Irvin setting the pick. We're going to get nothing. We're getting a timeout. We're going to take it too. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com.
And at SholoFord.com.
Want to go skiing or snowboarding? Visit our friendly Honda Outdoor Sports. We offer skis, snowboards, and helmet rentals, custom footbeds, ski and snowboard repairs, as well as retail shopping for your snow gear, goggles, beanies, snow tubing, and even ice fishing supplies. We have all you need to prepare you for the outdoors. We welcome you to Honda Outdoor Sports, located 1 mile west of the casino.
Today we're showing 2 beautiful cars and the savings that you can get on those this month. We have the 2024 Chevy Colorado LT 4x4. We can save you $3,100 this month, giving you a new sale price of $41,735. Next, we have a 2025 Chevy LT Trailblazer. We can save you $1,500 with a new sale price of $24,530. Horn Auto Center, the Chevy store that saves you more.
Welcome back to Shola Ford's presentation of high school basketball on italk1067.com. And as we check out scores around the league with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left, the Holbrook Roadrunners up big on the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets, 56-34. We also have a final Ganado over Window Rock, 57-39. And that's actually all we have around the mountain and the Northland tonight as we get back to our action here as Lobos have the ball. Oberg catches the inbounds, now drives over to the near side. About outside the arc to Irvin, top of the key. Over to Claire. Claire to the free throw line.
Yeah,
now Claire backs up to Brewer at the top of the key.
Going to run a little bit of clock here as well, right?
I think that's absolutely what Coach Claire told him is let's work for a good shot. Now Oberg gets up with it. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. And we're going to get an offensive foul and a push off by Oberg. And Coach, that actually puts the Lobos at their 5th team foul and puts Winslow in the bonus this quarter.
Well, and I think what you want to do there, though, is I think that's exactly right for Coach Claire. There's something with that 2 minute. You get that lead under 2 minutes, turns into a possession-by-possession game at that point, and so sure he wanted to work clock and get a good shot at the end of it. But.
Well, Winslow just had Isaac David put down a three-point shot, and that ties it with a minute 31, and that is a Comfort Fit Dentures three-pointer as here come the Lobos.
Well, you certainly don't want to give that shot up, in a three-point game under a minute, 2 minutes. And
as David's going to steal the ball from the court, he's going long court, and he goes down, and it's going to be a foul on Irvin, as that's going to put David at the line to give the Bulldogs a potential lead here.
Pretty quick turn there, right? And it's a turnover.
And that's 5 on Irvin, as Gian Jones and Christian Smith are going to check in for him.
And now the hard part right now, right, is kind of fighting the emotion of the crowd. You gave up a lead. You got some frustration brewing and things like that. So if he makes 1 or 2 of these free throws, you're going to be down, and you have a tendency to really want to push. But what you really need to do is just come down and execute, get a good shot.
Run your stuff.
Run your stuff,
yeah. I had a friend that used to coach, and he used to yell that all the time, our stuff. So here's David. David, a very good free throw shooter, perfect from the line tonight. His first one is no. Coach, I have a way of cursing them. And so if you're a Lobo fan, you want me to say it's going to be good. If you're a Winslow fan, you're telling me to be quiet.
You want him to shut up. That's right.
So here's David's second free throw attempt, and it is good. David 1 for 2 from the line. However, Winslow with the 1-point lead. Minute 14 left to play. Here come the Lobos. Claire forward to Jones. Jones looking now. Jones out.
This set.
Jones out to Oberg. Oberg inside. Oberg drives the lane. Reverse layup, no good. Rebound is Curtis.
Be interesting here. Winslow can run some offense and get this under one possession, get that shot clock turned off. Imperative here that Snowflake get a stop.
As Panana goes,
yeah, and I think what you look at here, though, defensively, if they want to run this thing down to 7 or 8 seconds, if you can force them to a bad shot, you're still going to have 25 seconds to run some offense and get a good shot.
As that's forward, we're going to get an offensive foul as they're going to whistle Jay Smith with an offensive foul. And, Coach, look at the replay here, and that is fantastic.
Yeah, Asher did a good job. You saw we kind of had the risk, attempt for the steal. Asher slides over knowing he's going to come off the dribble there. Great job.
So we're going to keep it here for a bit, folks. We're going to have a minute timeout. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to have our post-game show with our Deemer's Glass. Last man of the game. Need glass for your home or office? Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call when you need quality glass at a portable price. Deemer's Glass, 1-888 Glassman. We're going to have our Horn Auto Center drive of the game. And, Coach, I think it's going to come down to either David's three-point shot there or it's going to come down to whatever happens in the next 29.8 seconds. And then last, we have our Mountain Mobile Auto Glass intent player of the game. And I think no matter who wins this tonight, we have one person in mind for that one.
Yeah.
Win or lose.
Yeah, David's played really well. I would look here, if Snowflake, I think they're going to run, like you said, run their stuff. I'd be really surprised if Asher Brewer, Landon Clare don't end up taking this last shot.
I sure like the give and go that they made a couple points off earlier. As Jones has the ball, now we're on the far side to Clare. Clare behind the three-point arc in the middle to Oberg, top of the key over to Jones. Jones inside to Clare. Clare puts it up. That's going to go off the glass, good for 2 points. As we're going to get a whistle, we're going to get a timeout. As we're going to go ahead and take this one. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on iTalk1067.com.
Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint now has 3 locations to serve you. Snowflake, Lakeside, and now Sholo. And with over 85 years combined experience in auto glass and over 40 years of combined experience in window tint, you can trust the experts at Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint with your vehicle. Call them today.
Just call 536-5972. Mountain Mobile Auto Glass, cash back to you.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learn a new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
Welcome back to Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on iTalk1067.com. And one thing that Coach mentioned during the break was you got to see David involved here, and sure enough, David gets the ball. Here comes it back to Panana. Panana now at the top of the key, 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Winslow looks like they're playing for the last shot as Panana drives. It goes into Curtis. Curtis picks it up and that's good for 2 points for Jaden Curtis. As time runs out, and the Winslow Bulldogs have defeated the Snowflake Lobos by a score of 53-52. The Lobos not able to get that last shot off as we watch the exchange of Jay Smith going in, putting it in, and the Lobos without any timeouts, no time on the clock, and they're going to come up empty-handed as the Winslow Bulldogs defeat the Snowflake Lobos 53-52. Now it's time for our Deemer's Glass man of the game. And in a losing effort tonight, we're going to award that to Landon Clare with 17 points all over the court. When you need glass for your home or business, Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call when you need quality glass at a portable price. Deemer's Glass, 1-888-GLASSMAN. And as for our Horn Auto Center drive of the game, Coach, has got to be David's three-pointer to get him back in the game.
Yeah, I think that was a big play coming out of that timeout, about a minute and a half left to tie it, and then the steal and breakaway to put Winslow up 1.
And then we're going to go to our Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint player of the game. And our Mountain Mobile Auto Glass Tint player of the game is going to be number 32 for the Winslow Bulldogs, Isaac David. 23 points on the night for Isaac David, including a critical Comfort Fit Dentures three-pointer that brought him back in the game, as the Lobos just played a good game, had their ups and downs, but could not compete with David. David even coming in the game with 4 fouls, never saw the bench with that 5th foul. We felt playing a little timid, still able to make the difference in the game. Congratulations to Isaac David and the Winslow Bulldogs.
Yeah, and he was kind of able to turn it on when it got down to about 3.5 minutes left, and he, great job, really good player.
Yeah, good for him. So for myself, for Coach Mike Brogan, for Mel in the truck, for all our cameramen, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. We'll see you back Friday night as the Winslow Bulldogs, these same Bulldogs, will travel up 66 to play the Holbrook Roadrunners. We're possibly going to have that one for you, as on Saturday we will have the Valley Christian Trojans heading up the 87 to the 260 to take on the Snowflake Lobos. That will be a 6 o'clock start from Snowflake High School. Girls game at 4:30 before. Thank you, folks, and thank you for tuning in, and good night.
This has been Sholo Ford's presentation of high school basketball on iTalk 1067 KNKI Pinetop and iTalk1067.com. Brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Deemer's Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center, Horn Auto Center, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports, and Comfort Fit Dentures. This broadcast has been a copyrighted production of iTalk 1067 and Country Mountain Airwaves, a Kopaniki communication station. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of this broadcast without the express written consent of iTalk 1067 or Country Mountain Airwaves is strictly prohibited. For more information on this game and other games around the region, go to iTalk1067.com.